Hi students, this is your Professor Omelianchuk, and today I just wanted to talk a little bit about my expectations for the short paper that's going to be due Sunday. Alright, so one of the things I wanted to talk about here is just, when in doubt, just revisit the syllabus and see what it has to say. Okay, so I just want to go over what the syllabus is saying here. What I expect is a 12-point Times New Roman paper with 1-inch margins. Okay, that's what the formatting is important to me. It's just what I'm asking for. So please do that. It's going to be 3 to 4 pages long, right? So in between 3 and 4 is kind of what I want. All right. Now, ideally, this will flow out of whatever it is that you want to write about. This is kind of the toughest part. It can flow out of your experience with the reflection and response posts, right? So I already got you thinking about some things in this class, right? About immunizations, about just the nature of science and values and how they relate. And we also talked about the definition of death, all right, this week. So you can get into that stuff if you'd like to. All right, but you can choose your own topic. So if you want to get into that, you can do that as well. You probably have some good ideas already. Here's what I'm not looking for though. Right? I do not just want a simple report on a topic. I don't care about, well, these people say this and these people say that, and that's just end of story. Okay, you have to give a reasoned opinion on some aspect of the topic. So you could say some people think this and some people think that. Here's what I think. Here's why, some people are wrong, right? And these are the reasons why. Okay, so what I want you to do, right? First of all, you got to choose the right sort of topic, right? So I've kind of gone over this a little bit already in the syllabus. I do not want you to choose a topic that is purely moral or purely scientific. Okay, so I think I talk about this a little bit down here, right? What I want you to do is choose a topic that clearly illustrates how values significantly shape the way that science is done or is understood or is used in society. Okay, so good examples, right? We've already talked about some of those. But stuff that's purely moral, like whether or not euthanasia is permissible, okay? Don't write about that. Don't write about vaccines being safe, okay, and giving me lots of scientific arguments for that. Okay, if you do something like that, I will give you an automatic C, right? I won't even grade it. That's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you 70%, and that's going to be your grade, okay? Because I just cannot be bothered with papers that don't interact with my course objectives here, right? And the course objectives, remember, is to identify and describe the ways values can influence the amount of scientific evidence needed, all right, or different theories and worldview commitments that can influence and shape reasoning, okay? Value-free ideal. These are the things that I'm kind of looking for you to interact with, all right? Okay, and you do need to state and provide reasons in support of your personal views, okay? What you also have to do, right, is answer key objections. Let's go back down to just what my number 3 is saying here, okay? Got to identify an important issue. If you need help with that, just email me, okay? Talk to me. I would love to guide you on this, okay? I know this can be kind of tricky, right? You also need to take a clear position on the issue, okay? So you have to say, I am for this, I'm against that, okay? It has to be clear to me. Sometimes when students don't do this, I don't know what exactly you're up to, okay? So you have to give a clear position on what you think is the case regarding your topic. How should we engage with it, all right? Then you do have to respond to an objection to your position, right? So this is a big part of philosophy, right? This is one of the things I want you to take away from this class is that, we all have our opinions, okay? And we all have, the things that we think and the way the world ought to be and how people should behave, all right? And people disagree with us, and some of them, not all of them, of course, but some of them have reasons for why they think we're wrong. And so we got to respond to them. So that's going to apply to your paper here. So you're going to have a position, right? It's an important topic. Okay, it's always good to kind of try to think something that's a little controversial. So when you're choosing your topic, try to think of something that's a little controversial, where there's some reasonable disagreement about it. And that way, then you can identify important objections to your position and then respond to them. All right. So you have to be a little imaginative here. Try to get inside the head of your opponent. You know, this is one thing I've tried to at least bring up in this class, you know, how people might object to certain arguments and then how you reply to them. Okay, so that's what I'd like you to do too. And then you just need to evince good writing habits. So my advice is to never, ever, ever just write your first draft and then hand it in. Okay, you should actually write the draft, maybe like walk away from it for about an hour, then come back and proofread it. And just make sure you work out all the bugs and, you know, maybe make some edits. You could say things clearer, right? We never ever say anything the best way we possibly can on the first try. So please do that, okay? You know, I am looking for proper grammar and correct spelling and sentence structure, and also coherent paper organization, okay? Clarity and communication also matters, okay? So the goal is just to be brief in your presentation of the issue. Now I ask you to use Chicago style notes. This is the style format that I prefer. Okay, if you follow the link, it'll take you to this Purdue online writing lab. And if you're kind of looking for just, well, how do I do this? Right, here you go. Here's the manual if you have any questions. And then you can kind of get a good sense of the general format of things. All right, so you can take a look at how things should be. Right, this is kind of what, you know, these are kind of the rules about when to block quote and all that kind of stuff. 1-inch margins. I want Time New Roman. Do not turn in a paper with Courier font. Okay, 12-point font is what I want, 1-inch margins. Use a title page and don't count that in your paper. Okay, so the title page should be your name, okay, and all the kind of stuff that's relevant. Here's a sample. I'm not gonna. You don't have to be slavish in how this looks. I just want a title page that looks something like this, okay? And then that way, right, you have max space on 3 pages, at least 3 pages to do your work. Okay, so you're not counting your bibliography page, you're not counting your title page, we're just counting the body paragraph pages, okay? All right, so you know, take a look at that, and then, you know, I'll give you some guidelines on how to cite books, or you know, what they should look like, or web resources, those sorts of things, okay? So just do your best with that. Look, I'm not going to be a Nazi about this, but I do want, you know, kind of everybody kind of using the same sort of thing, right? You can use that, you know, in your Microsoft Word processor. You know, you can just put in footnotes and that kind of stuff and cite things, okay? All right. Okay, so, you know, do that. All right, that's what I'm looking for. I also have a rubric here. I want you to consult this too. All right, this is kind of the way I grade. All right, you know, again, you got to identify the right sort of condition, give good reasons, consider an objection, write coherently, and then use proper formatting. All right, and then you can kind of see how I parse things out. Okay, all right. So that is it for syllabus stuff. Now, it's just other notes about what I expect here. As I really want your opinions, okay? That does matter. I already said that, so I'm not going to go over that. If you kind of want an idea of what I'm talking about, you can kind of check out, you know, I don't think I have this linked to anywhere, but, you know, here's some things I'm kind of looking for. I'm looking for like an editorial type of page, right? So, you know, do you know what's in your cosmetics? Thousands of chemicals, right? And you have an editorial board issuing an opinion about stuff. Okay, so it's kind of important. It's punchy. It gets to the point. You know, it considers some objections, right? This is a magazine called Philosophy Now, and they have little editorials. You can kind of check out this, right? You can talk about, you know, our designer babies are our future. You know, can we trust medical science? Right? These kinds of things. All right. That's important. You know. There are journal article stuff, like this is through Clemson, and you know what, I'm just not going to go through it. If that's something that you find in Nature, right? But I'm kind of looking for that, hey, this is what I think, and this is why type of paper. And that involves writing in the first person, and that's perfectly okay with me. I know some of you scientists, you've been trained to write purely in the third person, and I understand that that's a habit to break, but I'm okay with writing in the first person and using the word I. That's okay with me. Right, so how do I want your paper to look? Well, I want you to write an introduction. Okay, and this is actually usually the toughest part of the paper to write. You need to identify the issue you're going to talk about and the claim you're going to defend in the first section. Okay, maybe the first two sentences or the first sentences. So you could say something like, hey, I believe P in some claim, some proposition, comma, because, and then you list your reasons, right? That's going to be basically your thesis statement, right? And then what you can do is, give me a kind of a roadmap of what to expect in the paper. Now, I'll explain what I mean in the first part, I address an objection in the second part, and then, I end. I like that stuff. That helps me as a teacher kind of get a sense of, what you're thinking. It also will help you as a writer guide your thinking. So definitely do that. Now in the body, you should explain and develop the reasons that justify your claim. You say, so don't give me a big background about the topic, just try to introduce it as briefly as possible and then get to your reasoning, all right? Clearly articulate your reasons, distinguish them from misunderstandings, okay? And then you're gonna address an objection, right? So this is important. Try to address a real objection, not some straw man or some silly argument that no one holds. Okay, I'll grade you down if you do something like that. And then, do the best you can with that. Okay, it doesn't have to be super comprehensive, just good enough. Right, then I want you to restate your thesis and the reasons we've given and just kind of conclude the paper. All right, okay. So like I said, anything that we've talked about and read in the class or something you're personally interested in, cite sources as needed. I don't have any source requirements, okay, but you're probably going to have one or two, and so you just need to follow the guidelines that I give you in the Chicago notes, all right? Okay, I'm not expecting you to be groundbreaking or comprehensive, but I do express you to kind of express your own views in your own words. That's important, all right? The point is to learn how to support your opinions with reasons in writing, okay? That's all I'm kind of looking for. Now, let me tell you what I don't like, okay? I don't like filling up the word count with lots of big block quotes, right? I will grade you down on that. That's going to be a formatting kind of issue, or a way of, or how I grade you on how I don't like your writing. So, this is going to be kind of the area where I would do that, right? I would give you like a 15. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you kind of how I think about this stuff so you understand. All right. If you don't consider any objections, I might actually even go lower than just giving you taking 10 points off. If you don't consider it an objection, right, I just might not even I might just give you a 5 or a 0. All right, so please do that. Okay, I know I say neither is met here, so maybe okay, I guess I'm just have to go with that. That's just the way it goes, right? But you got to do that, okay? And I'll take other points off so you could get down, you have a B level paper really fast if you don't do that. Okay, let's see. Another thing I want to talk about is, if you rant against those you disagree with, rather than identifying and answering their objections, this is also really bothers me. Okay, I'll grade you down on this too. Right, so these are kind of extra annoyances. I mean, I don't state these specifically in the rubric, right? But I will mention them on your paper that this is just not how you write. Okay, as an educated person, right, this is just not how you write. Okay, and so if you do this kind of thing, right, where you say these people are stupid, they don't understand what's going on in the world, okay, again, that's just not how we interact with people as educated persons. That's how you interact as an uneducated person, okay? If you don't give any reasons for your view, but hide behind your personal beliefs. I tend to see this among students who are hesitant, like, well, people disagree about abortion, but my personal belief, is that the fetus is a human being. Okay, I'm not asking you to write about that, but this is kind of an example. And I'm like, well, so what if it's your personal belief? Give us some reasons why we should think your personal belief should be my belief. Okay, that's important to me. And so if it's a nervous tick to talk about, well, it's my personal belief. Try not to write that way. Okay, that's not a good writing habit, right? Because those sorts of things become insulated from critical assessment, right? No proofreading, bad grammar, and of course plagiarism, right? So I'm going to have your paper be turned in by a plagiarism detective software, and I will take a look at those reports, right? And I would hate to have to bust you on this, okay, but I will do that. I'll bring it to your attention, and we'll have to, if there's sufficient evidence, I just will give you a 0, and that's that, okay? And refer you to the academic office that deals with this kind of thing, right? I would hate to do that. I don't think anybody's going to do that, all right? So that's kind of my expectations. Now I know that a lot of people have questions about um, you know the this sort of stuff, right? The formatting. Again, I'm not going to be a big Nazi about this. I am wanting you to be organized though, and just give me something that shows that you've cited your paper, right? And you just try to follow it as best you can, okay? And that'll work, right? Basically, if you have MS Word here, I think I can open it up and just kind of show you how to do footnotes. Not every student knows how to do this, by the way. And I found this out from last time. Let's see if there's references here. Now I know you can't see this because my screen is cut off, but there is under references an insert footnote type of thing, and that's where you would put your bibliographic information. Okay, so I hope that helps you a little bit. All right, and so please, if you have questions, let me know. I want to help. I want to be helpful to you as a teacher in writing your paper. I think that from what I've seen so far in your reflections is that I'm expecting some good papers, some good thoughts. Y'all are impressing me as good students. So, just hit me up with an email. We can chat and hang out if you'd like. And I will talk to you later. That's it.